Don't for a second believe that just because you are small and your time here is short, that you are somehow insignificant. That star of ours, shining up there in the sky, actually shining today. We don't usually see that here in Michigan. That star, the one that's been around for 1 billion years before you were born and will remain for millions of years after you die, does it dream? Does it hope? Does it love? Does it wake up in the morning and face the world and try to make something of itself? Does it feel a single thing? What about the Milky Way? What about all the colossal superclusters of galaxies that make up this universe? Of course not. Without life, there is no harm. There is no gain. There is no state of affairs preferable to any other. There can be no such thing as value, but introduce a subject of experience and everything changes. Suddenly value and meaning and purpose make sense. I'm afraid that we've been looking to the sky for our marching orders for so long that we've gotten things turned around. You depend on that star for survival, but it depends on you for significance. If that star and this planet is important at all, it is because it gives life to you. This entire cosmos can only be made significant through our collective story, the story of all sentient beings that experience life within it. What an awesome privilege that is. So how do you think we're doing on that business of making our universe significant? In its final draft, how do you think that story will read? Will it be a good book? Will humanity's chapter be one of its high points? Or will it be one long, miserable, cautionary tale? Think about that question and you'll catch a sense of the awesome burden facing those who wish to live ethically in a natural world. You see, if there is no God, then our story comes with no guarantee of a happy ending. Only humanity can solve its own problems, and it's not entirely clear that we are up to the task. I believe humanism also has its own kind of irrational faith. Since the time of Europe's so-called Enlightenment, humanists have been eager to cast off Christian faith in the coming kingdom of heaven and replace it with a secular faith in the coming triumph of reason over superstition and the inevitable march of progress that will follow in its wake. Yes, humankind has made incredible advancements in our understanding. We've cured diseases. We've tripled our life expectancy. We've brought the human community closer than ever before, all through the power of our technology, and for that we deserve to be proud. But do we dare forget that we only narrowly avoided annihilating the entire human race with nuclear weapons, and that next time we might not be so lucky? How many cultures have been erased? How many native peoples displaced, or worse, eradicated? And that's only the human toll we've racked up over these centuries of progress. We are now, every one of us in this room, contributing to the largest mass extinction of species in human history. Genocides upon genocides happening each day. We're changing the climate, and although the science is sound, most of us are too enamored with our way of life to seek any significant change. It is getting difficult for any caring, sensitive person to continue reading this story when each page is saturated with violence, greed, hatred, and anguish, especially if you suspect, as I do, that no Savior will come down from the sky to rescue us in the end. Still, though it might be painful, do not close the book before it's finished. Look closely and you'll find that this dark chapter also contains scores of characters who stand apart from all the ugliness and bring real beauty to these pages. From tiny gestures of kindness to heroic acts of compassion, they redeem our narrative, or at the very least, they make its reading more bearable. Right now, you are writing your own contribution to this chapter. Will your story inspire like theirs? I want to end with a story that inspires me. The story comes from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, which might be an odd choice to end an atheist sermon with, but I think this really captures for me the essence of secular humanism, or whatever we want to call it. Emperor Nero had a very twisted sense of humor. He used to write plays where the characters would perform a range of humiliating and degrading acts. He would then cast prominent members of Roman society into these roles and have them perform before large audiences. And anyone who refused was promptly executed. The Roman historian Florus and the Stoic philosopher Agrippinus were both summoned by Nero to act in one of these plays. True to his philosophy, the Stoic had no intention of taking part in this debasement. But Florus protested, "If I refuse to participate in Nero's festival, he will kill me." "I still refuse," said the Stoic, "but you go ahead and participate." "Why?" asked Florus. "Because you think of yourself as no more than a single thread in the robe, whose duty it is to conform to the mass of people. Just a single white thread has no wish to clash with the remainder of the garment. But I aspire to be the purple stripe. That is the garment's brilliant hem. However small a part it may be, it can still manage to make the rest of the garment attractive. Don't tell me be like the rest, because in that case, I cannot be the purple stripe." Optimism is not always a rational attitude, but hope is. Hope doesn't have to delude us about our chances when encouraging us to press on. I hope that when all is said and done, humanity's chapter in life's story will be a bright one. But even if it is not, I still stand in admiration of those who do not accept easy answers or bow to received wisdom. People who pursued truth for its own sake, who did good not out of any expectation of divine reward or fear of punishment, but because they loved life and they wished to see it thrive. I think that's what humanism is really about. It's finding the courage to stand apart and say, "Don't tell me to be like the rest. I choose to live my life by reason and not settle for faith. I choose to serve all sentient life and not just the elect. I choose to press on instead of praying for a miracle, because I believe that is how I make my life and the universe of which I am a part significant." Thank you.
So that's an atheist sermon. I'd like to thank the generous people at All Souls Unitarian Church for giving me the chance to speak. And as no sermon would be complete without passing the plate around, if you value Reasonable Doubts, please consider contributing a small financial gift to keep this show running. You can donate through PayPal at www.doubtcast.org. And if you can't afford to give financially, you can still show your support by writing us a review on iTunes or your favorite podcast directory, or by linking to us on your blog, Facebook, or Twitter feed, or by just telling a friend about the show. We are so thankful for the support and for the encouragement we've received from our listeners over the years. We love putting this show together for you, and we ask that you please continue to spread the word about Reasonable Doubts. Thanks, and have a great new year.
To catch up on past Reasonable Doubts episodes, or to email your questions or comments, check out www.doubtcast.org. Reasonable Doubts is a production of WPRR Reality Radio. You can find out more about Reality Radio at publicrealityradio.org. Reasonable Doubts theme music is performed by Love Fossil and used with permission.